Now, from the extraordinarily serious and complex to the surprising and whimsical, perhaps. I just want to just quickly draw our viewers' attention to a story from historic Scotland, where at is it Craignethan Castle? There was a report of visitors being warned about an angry badger on the loose in a cellar tunnel. The
We are
tweet,
going to put a disclaimer at the bottom of this, aren't we? That we're not talking about a certain well-known archaeological website.
of course, yes, yes, because
Just want to make that absolutely
yes,
clear before we
yes,
start.
because yes. I mean, archaeology is a small world, and
Absolutely,
badgers are infamous in archaeology.
and a
Um,
very important part
a very
of it.
important part of archaeology. But Badger the organisation as opposed to Badger the animal, that is. But the tweet is priceless. It says, if you're heading to the castle over the next few days, you might find the cellar tunnel closed due to the presence of a very angry badger. We're trying to entice it out with cat food and honey and send it home. And then this is priceless as well. They tweeted that with a picture of. Have you ever heard of the Badger song? You know, the badger, 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 badger,
Yeah,
badger,
Brian
badger,
Brian
badger,
May's
badger,
anti-badger
badger,
culling
badger,
song.
badger,
Yes, yeah,
mushroom, mush. It's brilliant.
yeah.
No, 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 no. It wasn't no, no, no. It's not Brian May's.
Wasn't it?
No, no,
I
no.
thought it
This
was
is
lovely.
this is from ages ago. It's on I think Weeble.
Oh
It's a
right.
sorry. It was a thing that was very popular when I was in high school. It's a good song though. It involves badgers, mushrooms, and snakes.
Sounds like a party.
It is. It kind of is, and it gets inside your head, and it's brilliant. But
Exactly.
but but the so anyway, a spokesman for historic HES Historic Environment Scotland said that the rest of the castle is open. A residential tower protected by an artillery fortification remained open to the public. He said the castle is surrounded by woodland, and we believe that the badger may have become lost. Staff first spotted some dugout earth on Wednesday evening, and later spotted the badger on closer inspection. It appears as though the badger has entered the tunnel and caused some mess, and digging up through loose soil and stonework. Our work team on site have since cleared some of the rubble and have tried to lure the badger out with cat food and honey. It's fantastic. Uh, I just wanted just to highlight. It's a brief one, but I just wanted to highlight it. That said, though, have you ever met a badger? Have you ever been in the presence of a badger?
I have, and in fact, this is a very personal story to me because not just because of the importance of badgers in archaeology, but the my one possible derivation of my family name Brockman
Uh huh.
is being associated in some form with badgers, possibly hunting badgers. Although I
Oh,
have to say I'm extremely dubious about the current badger cull.
okay.
But an evidence-free zone as far as I can see. But
And for
yeah,
those people outside the UK, that's the idea that badgers are linked with the spread of diseases amongst cattle, and there being a cull to try and limit that, even though there's some limited evidence. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But no, no the I mean they're very powerful. They're
Well, they're
big, powerful
huge.
animals,
Yeah.
and they're very striking with the black and white stripes. You can see and obviously that they were exploited in the past. Badger bristles
Mhm.
were used
Mhm.
in shaving brushes,
Yeah.
and there are suggestions that maybe they in certain cultures they had shamanistic attributes were attributed, or shamans attributed, elements of badgers to their worldview
Mhm.
and so on. But at the same time, as archaeologists, they're brilliant excavators, but often in inappropriate places, and they don't always get planning permission. I mentioned Operation Nightingale in one of our earlier packages, and that one of Op Nightingale's best projects was at Barrow Clump, which was a Bronze Age uh, uh, barrow and early medieval Saxon migration period uh, cemetery, And the reason that was excavated was it was being damaged by badgers, and in that part of Wiltshire, badgers are still a protected species. It's not an area that where the cull is happening, so you can't actually touch them
No, okay.
legally.
But in other places, badgers and moles, for example, around Hadrian's Wall, another
Mm,
connection to the rest of the watching brief this month,
yeah.
have actually brought artifacts to the surface, haven't they? Where archaeologists cannot dig, so badgers can be, yeah,
What? Absolutely. I mean, one of the first uh, my first lessons in field walking was if you see a molehill, kick it over because you don't know what's going to be inside it.
yeah, because the mole will push things out of its way. If it's
Absolutely.
pottery, if it's metal, yeah. And
Absolutely.
I suppose just finally, in that sense, the reason why I ask about whether or not you've met a badger is that it was one of the most impressive. Yeah, let's face it, British wildlife at times is not as impressive as some of the big animals you get in other parts of the world.
Sadly
It's
true.
sadly
Yes.
true. Deer, they're some of the larger mammals that you might encounter as you're walking around certain parts of Britain. But my this is it made a tremendous impact on me that this huge wild animal was living in my midst one evening when I was walking home off a small mountain close to my the family home in Wales, and there's just this rustling, and this creature appeared in the gloom, crossed my path, and its presence was impressive. In that sense, I can see why people are being warned about an angry badger, as much as we're kind of making light of it. It was a bit, as big as 3 times the size of a dog that I would count as being a regular sized pet. It's an impressive beast, and I just thought it was really quite interesting that this badger turned up in a castle. Game of Thrones with badgers, I love it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes. House Brock.
how's Brock exactly? Yeah, yeah.